Okay, my name is Nick, and this is my research topic: effects of nutritional intervention in utero and during infancy on food tolerances, food allergies, and allergic diseases. So, there has been some research done on the causes of food allergies. However, there are multiple stages in life and ways in which these allergies can develop. My paper helps to tie all of these different things together in order to provide information on how they can be researched more and how these allergies can be avoided in the future. Food allergies have been rising the past few decades, and this is likely because um, multiple health organizations have made official recommendations to avoid these allergens while pregnant and early in infancy. These allergens can include anything that's a common food allergy, like peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, milk, anything like that. These recommendations by health organizations have led to the avoidance of these allergens, which will in turn lead to more food allergies. So, after determining that these past recommendations are likely to be wrong since the level of food allergies continue to increase, I wanted to find out what actually causes these food allergies and the diseases, and if they can be avoided through nutritional interventions such as changing your diet or including or excluding certain foods from your diet. And specifically, the participants in these studies being pregnant women and infants who are being exposed to solid foods. So it turns out that nutritional intervention can change how a person develops food allergies. The first part being the effects of a mother's nutritional intake during pregnancy on her child's allergic diseases. Evidence shows that previous recommendations are not true. Avoidance of allergens while pregnant does not help to avoid allergies in the child. However, there is not enough information to say that consumption of common food allergies can be, the consumption of common allergens can help prevent allergies in the child. It's recommended that a pregnant woman follows a regular healthy diet, and consuming common allergens will not put their child at risk. And perhaps more importantly than during pregnancy is the effects of nutrition during infancy on food allergies and allergic diseases. Um, Research shows that avoidance of food allergens in infancy can be harmful. If an infant is not exposed to certain food allergens, he or she is more likely to develop a food allergy to that specific food. We see this multiple times in different articles and research studies. Um, let's see, it's shown here that animals that received higher doses of peanut protein were less likely to develop an allergy to peanuts than those who received lower doses. It's also shown right down here that infants who are introduced to eggs earlier in life are less likely to develop a food allergy to eggs than those who are introduced later. One assumption that I made um, was that this rise in food allergies was a worldwide issue, but it's actually just um, specifically in children living in highly developed Western countries. Um, this is because parents in third world countries are not worried about their children being exposed to certain foods like peanuts or milk or fish. Oftentimes, they need to eat these things in order to survive, and they don't have any other options like we do in the US or other first world countries. Another assumption that I made was that vegetarians and vegans would be at higher risk for food allergies, being exposed to certain animal products like fish or eggs. Um, but down here, we see that Polish school children who followed a vegetarian diet had lower rates of food allergies than children who followed an omnivorous diet. This could lead to the idea that meat or other animal products could lead to food allergies. Um, However, it is likely that if these children grow up and decide that they don't want to follow a vegan or vegetarian diet anymore, that they're likely to have an allergy to certain things that they haven't been exposed to, specifically animal products. And a third assumption that I made was that it doesn't matter. It doesn't only matter if a child is exposed to an allergen, but when. We see again in this, where is it? This article by Jennifer Copland, that children exposed to eggs at 4 to 6 months of age were at lower risk of food allergy for eggs than those exposed later at 10 to 12 months of age. This shows that in general, earlier exposure is better than later exposure. One place in which I had to intentionally erase myself from the research was the subsection about nutrition during pregnancy, right here. All the other research has shown that exposure to allergens is helpful in preventing allergies, but in this subsection specifically, there's not enough information to say that you should be eating commonly allergenic foods while you're pregnant. It makes sense to me, but there's just not enough scientific research to say this with much credibility. There should be more research done in all of these subsections in order to provide a correct and scientific recommendation for parents to feed their children and properly provide exposure to food allergens. Parents can take this research and feed their children accordingly. I would recommend that mothers continue to breastfeed while introducing children to a wide variety of healthy, solid foods in order to expose them to common food allergens. This research is most applicable to parents or anyone who plans on having children in the future. Healthcare providers can use this information to teach parents how to expose children to allergenic foods, and health organizations should also give these recommendations in replacement of the previous false ones in order to make it easy for parents and future parents to educate themselves on how to provide a healthy diet for their children and to avoid these allergic diseases that could possibly last them their entire lives. So that's my presentation. Thank you.